It's mailbag time here on the Raiders Report. My name is Mitchell Renz, and all the questions and comments that you're about to see on the show are from our live show, which was recorded on August 8th. It was Friday happy hour. Now, I appreciate each and every one of y'all that always tune into these shows, and I like doing mailbags because I want to know what's going on in the minds of Raider Nation, and that's why you should always watch mailbags from the Raiders Report. Let's go to the first one coming in here from Keep Cushion, Raider 808. You think Thayer Munford should get cut? Because he was playing like absolute garbage, it seemed. Like every snap, he was getting beat. Shake my you-know-what head. I'll tell you this right now. You're going to watch a 53-man roster video from me. Maybe you saw it on live. Maybe you didn't. I'm not keeping Thayer Munford on this team. And, if our coaching staff's going to talk about commitment to excellence and we're going to talk about, going out there and competing, I agree with you. Thayer Munford was a walking turnstile yesterday. He looked completely lost, and I know how difficult it is going from all these different offenses, going from all these different, offensive line coaches, a lot of different moving parts, but you still have to be able to block. And he was atrocious yesterday. Now, there is a part of me that I sit back and I go, well, you're playing him at tackle, and that's on the coaching staff. Thayer Munford can't play tackle. If you're going to keep him on the squad, you got to use him as a guard and as a guard only. But at this point, I can't imagine why the Raiders would keep Munford. I would rather you cut Munford and keep some extra players on the defensive line or keep some extra players in defense in general, because defense is a much bigger eyesore than the offense right now. Let's go to Darian. What up, man? JPJ playing right guard. Do you think it's more of an indictment that Meredith is better at center than Kappa is at right guard? I think JPJ needs to play center regardless, but that's just me. I don't know. And Chugs and I have had some conversations behind, closed doors of, I've actually wondered, is there a situation going on with JPJ, because it just seems weird to me. And I'm not trying to create any issues with anything, but at the same time, why is JPJ playing into the third quarter of that Raiders preseason game? I'll admit he hasn't played well in the mock game, and he didn't play well yesterday in the preseason game. When I say didn't play well, I mean more of just what I expect from JPJ. JPJ, to me, hasn't met the standard of what I expected him going into this season. But at the same time, I know they want to put the 5 best guys on that offensive line. But, to me, you're kind of – JPJ should be the center. And I don't understand why he's not the center. If you want to put the best 5 guys out there, sure. But right now you're putting Steph Curry at power forward when Steph Curry needs to be the point guard. And JPJ needs to be the center. He should touch the ball every time. It's a better fit for our offense. Let's go to Daniel Meister. Did Dylan Parham play? Yes, but only 4 snaps yesterday. And I think it's really, important to note that the only offensive lineman yesterday for the Raiders that played 4 snaps, because the starters when they went out there was Colt Miller, Dylan Parham, Jordan Meredith, JPJ, DJ Glaze. Parham and Miller, they played 4 snaps. Then they came off the field, and then they put their backups in. I do wonder if that means that this team does have a lot more confidence in Parham than maybe what some of us believed. Parham also played at 315 pounds last season. The team listed him at 332. And, that was my biggest concern on Dylan is he able to kind of handle, some of these bigger defensive linemen where he struggled. Raiders seem a little bit more confident in him. And after the way Caleb Rogers played yesterday, after the way Munford played, after the way Charles Grant played yesterday, we need Dylan Parham and Colt Miller to stay healthy. Let's go to Sal. What up, Sal? Cam Miller deserves to be quarterback 2, I think. What do you think? Miller was really impressive yesterday. 6 of 7, had a touchdown throw, the 41-yard bomb going up the right sideline to Cedric Jackson. I'll say this, and this might be an unpopular opinion, but I'm saying it not because I don't think that Cam Miller could be a better quarterback than Aidan O'Connell. I'm saying it as, what is the plan with Cam Miller? If the plan for Cam Miller is for him to be the guy where if Geno Smith goes down, you throw him in there, then maybe you make him the quarterback too. I don't think that that's the plan for the Raiders. I think the Raiders' plan is you have Geno, let Aidan O'Connell be the backup quarterback, and then when Aidan's contract is done in 2 years from now, right now he's in year 3, year 4 is his final year, you move on from Aidan O'Connell, and then you have a quarterback like Cam Miller who you're not rushing. You let him learn underneath AOC. You let him learn underneath Geno Smith. You let him learn with Greg Olsen, Chip Kelly, or this staff that we have, and then he can be that reliable backup quarterback, because having a reliable backup in the NFL is one of the most underappreciated jobs in the league. It's why teams pay certain guys as much as they do. Philadelphia Eagles won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles. If it was up to me, I would keep Aidan O'Connell at quarterback 2, and I would keep Cam Miller at quarterback 3 to allow Cam Miller to develop, because I don't want to just throw him into the flames, because then you're going to ruin that development. But here's the question here, and I want to know, who do y'all think is the better quarterback? And it's crazy how just a few weeks changes this answer, isn't it? Type AOC for Aidan O'Connell. Type Cam for Cam Miller. Who do you think is the better quarterback? Please let me know down below. I am still going to say that I think Aidan O'Connell is the better quarterback. And he had a bad game against Seattle. He hasn't looked very good this offseason. But I do think that it is tough, and it's something that we got to give credit where credit is due. It's got to be something where also we got to be patient. This is the third different system that he's learning. It's a third different quarterback coach. It's a third different offensive coordinator. A third different head coach, essentially. I think that is a tough thing to do. I also will say that I think Chip Kelly's offense is better predicated for a quarterback like Cam Miller who can move around a little bit more. But if Geno ended up going down, I'm going to be flipping the F out. I would have more confidence in Aidan right now than I would Cam Miller. But that's right now. That might change if we keep seeing what we saw up against Seattle. Let's go to the juicy. Do y'all see Geno flipping off that Jamarcus sign? Hell freaking yeah, man. I always tell y'all, hit that like button. Hit that middle finger button. I don't know if we can get some middle fingers down below. To me, it's kind of hard to be able to sit back in that situation where, you probably felt like Geno probably felt that he did so much for that organization, and he did. 6 most wins the last 3 seasons in the National Football League from a quarterback standpoint. And you can't see it in the photo, but Max then starts flipping up the birds. And you know what? I want our quarterback to walk around with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. I want Geno Smith to feel like he's got to go out there and prove himself. And to me, Geno is the most Raider quarterback that we've had since I've been covering this team. And if that's the energy we want to bring, I'm okay with it. But if we're going to bring that energy, we better bring it to the field. And that's where I want to see, because flipping birds, doing all that stuff looks really lame when you play the way that you played yesterday. I thought Geno played well. I know 1 of 3, 2 drops. But if we're going to be flipping birds to fans, we better have a better performance than what we had on the field yesterday. And I hope that Max Crosby and I hope that Geno Smith say that to those players out there. Now, if you want to get on a future mailbag reminder, you got to subscribe. You got to turn on those notifications. And anytime I go live, if I tell you that it's a day that we're going to be doing a mailbag, get those super chats in. Get those hashtag Raiders in. One guy that I know is always trying to get it in, my man Ed Robbins, who right now is the MVP of our live show. The starting defense was playing prevent defense. Prevent gets hurt defense. Patrick Graham's system has been a lot of bend but don't break in the past, but the defense, I don't necessarily know if I want to say they were playing prevent defense. The defense, though, was playing soft, and this was a defense that was playing really undisciplined football, and I think undisciplined football looks like guys that are over-pursuing, missing tackles, and not setting the edge. And I felt like it was almost like Madden yesterday. We were doing these Madden watch parties where it was like, ball, middle of the field, caught, first down. The amount of times that I felt like I was like missed tackle by the Raiders. First down, Seahawks, we didn't set the edge. Guy over-pursued, he didn't listen to his assignment. It looked like a football team that was a little bit overexcited for just a preseason game. I hope that we reel it in a little bit because I want to beat the 49ers. Let's go to my man Stottgarten out in Deutschland. Is there a chance to sign Simmons or Gilmore? We need both of them. If you had to ask me which one do we need more of / which one's more likely, I'll say Justin Simmons. And again, the Raiders to me are a lot more confident in their outside corners. I know for a fact that our secondary is one of the weakest in the league. And if we're unable to generate pressure, because we were unable to generate pressure yesterday, we're going to get picked apart. And on paper, we're a bottom 5 defense right now. And I hate saying that. And it actually kills me that I'm even saying that right now. But I honestly do believe this. And I will say it to Pete Carroll. I will say it to John Spytek. I will say it to every Raider fan out there. Right now, on paper, we have a bottom 5 defense. Prove me wrong. Because they didn't prove me wrong yesterday. We got beat up by the number 2s in Seattle. Who is one player besides Simmons that we should get from J&D? I'll tell you what, bro. That's a sick freaking whip. I would love that car. It's not the car I was driving. I'll tell you that. You want my honest answer? Jadeveon Clowney. And I'm going to go with Jadeveon Clowney. If I can't say Justin Simmons, I'll go with Clowney. And it's two-part. It's you got the coaching connection to Pete Carroll. You also got to look at what Clowney was able to do the last time he was with Carroll in 2019. Second highest PFF grade. He's had 15.5 sacks over the past 2 seasons. But the Raiders, to me, are just using a lot of these guys on the defensive line. And I've said it before on multiple shows that I've done. The word is tweener. J.J. Pegues, a little bit of a tweener. Tonka Hemingway, a little bit of a tweener. Tyree Wilson, a little bit of a tweener. Jadeveon Clowney, little bit of a tweener. And I just think we need help on the run defense side. I think we need help being able to get after the quarterback. And on top of that coaching connection, I'm going to go Jadeveon Clowney to answer this question. I'll tell you this, Clowney Raider jersey, it would hit pretty hard. And if you need yourself a brand new Raiders jersey, chatsports.com/Raiders jerseys. Quite frankly, if you don't know the link to get a Raiders jersey after this week of shows that I've done, then you definitely haven't been watching the show. Well, there are a lot of really good deals right now, like the Bowers, the Crosby. Though there is a Crosby jersey that's still under $80, which $79.99 for an NFL jersey in today's day and age is wild. But maybe your significant other, maybe your wife, maybe your kid, if you're looking for a brand new Raiders jersey, if you plan on going to the 49ers, Cardinals, or any Raiders regular season game, this is one of the best deals that I've seen out there. And I keep saying it, I can't believe that this is even still a deal, but they're letting it up there. So chatsports.com/Raiders jerseys. That link is down in the comments. It's in the description. It's also going to be a clickable link if you don't remember, chatsports.com/Raiders jerseys. Let's go to my man Blaine Craig. My biggest takeaway was our poor run defense. We couldn't seal the edge consistently, and when we did, we missed too many tackles. Blaine, I know you're a loyal watcher. I think I literally just said all that a few minutes ago. I know this one came in before I said all that, but we're on the exact same page. And yesterday's, I think, game was so frustrating because it looked like an Antonio Pierce coach team yesterday. It did. Whether you're going to get mad at me for that or not, I don't give a shit if people want to get mad at me for it. We look like an Antonio Pierce coach team yesterday. Let's go to Preston. I don't care. I'm going to be harsh. But what good is Ashton if we can't get those gaps open for him to explode? Been saying for years we need to get better tackles. Armin Membu, we got crushed, and it sickens me. You know, again, like Armin Membu was a player that I loved, and, you know, I'm super happy with Genty, and I want to go hold down the Armin Membu path. Y'all know how I felt about him. But DJ Glaze is a player they're confident. Colt Miller is a player that they're confident. Our tackles are good tackles. I don't want to freak out over too much about 3 carries, -1 yards for Genty, because when Genty did get a carry with the first-string offense, he picked up 4 yards. The problem was his other 2 carries were blame Thayer Munford, blame Caleb Rogers, blame Charles Grant, because those 3 guys were absolutely just – they were hard to watch yesterday. And Charles Grant was probably the best one out of those 3, but that's not saying a lot. That's like saying, would you rather have shit or diarrhea? Because it was both bad. Let's go to Christian Tate. Do you think that Malott makes the team? Do I think Tommy Malott is the top 53 player on this roster? No. Do I think Tommy Malott ends up making the team? I just say yes, because when you draft a player that was a quarterback at FCS, when you draft a player that, you know, ended up winning basically the Heisman Trophy for FCS, Tommy touchdown, whatever you want to call him, in my mind, if you're going to convert him to a wide receiver, and that's what they're trying to do, that's a project. And you have to be willing to allow that project to materialize. And it's been a little bit too quick. But clearly the Raiders are showing you that they don't trust him. They're putting 2 guys back there for punt returns with Malott. They're burying him on the wide receiver depth chart. I mean, he's getting buried down there. And this was a player that I was hoping we'd see a little bit more out of. He also just doesn't look very confident out there on the football field. So I'll ask y'all, do you think the Raiders end up keeping him? Or do you think the Raiders end up cutting Tommy Malott? This player was drafted in the 6th round, I want to say 213th overall, out of Montana State. Played quarterback, but converted to a wide receiver and special teams guy. My answer is going to be coming up after this YouTube ad break. I'm going to sit up here. I'm going to go, I think the Raiders end up keeping Malott because of the project. Now, if you told me it's cut day, August 26th, 4 p.m. Eastern time, and Malott doesn't end up making the roster, I'm going to sit up here and go, man, it must have been a lot worse than I thought. Because the stories that I've heard, the reports that I've heard, Malott doesn't look like a player that should be on an NFL roster, but he has the talent and he's somebody that runs a 4.3. He's somebody that athletically is more athletically gifted than Julian Edelman when he was first coming out of college. It takes some time, and you got to be patient, and I hope that the Raiders are patient with him, or else I don't know why you ended up drafting him. You knew it was going to be a project anyway. What up, Suave? Shedeur and Milroe, believer, not afraid to admit. I don't think anybody should be afraid to admit it. I want people to always stand 10 toes and, stand on their beliefs and stand on what they're thinking. Me personally, I don't think Shedeur Sanders is a good NFL quarterback. And I think Jalen Milroe is going to be a really interesting project player because, you can go down two paths. I think Milroe could end up having a career maybe like a Jalen Hurts if he finds the right head coach, finds the right system, and shows that he can get better and better as a passer because Milroe's not even close to being an NFL passing quarterback. I actually think a better description could be like a Justin Fields to, a guy like Jalen Hurts, where Hurts found a right coach that was patient with him, and Hurts put in the time, put in the effort, was in the right scheme, got better and better and better, and now he's regarded as, a top 12 quarterback in the NFL, where Justin Fields does not look like that, but Fields also did not get better and better and better as a passer. Watching Milroe yesterday, you can make an argument. He might be the most athletic quarterback in the NFL. I think you can make an argument he's better than Lamar Jackson, better than Justin Fields from an athletic standpoint. From a throwing the football standpoint, he's not even top 50. And you could see that very, very clear yesterday. What up, Daniel Owens? Hot take, maybe, but don't play Genty until week 1. The slander after 3 carries is ridiculous. Daniel, I could not agree with you more. He's going to be fine. Psychological warfare until he goes off in week 1 and shuts everybody up. And I don't have a problem with the Raiders putting him out there on the field. And again, if anybody's blaming Ashton Genty, they didn't watch the game. If somebody's sitting up there going, "Oh, Ashton Genty's going to be a bust," you didn't watch the game because Genty couldn't do anything. And when he was running with the ball, there's a bunch of backup offensive linemen. He averaged 4.0 yards per carry with the starters. So if you want to go with that one, we can go with that one. But I agree with you, Daniel. I think people that are freaking out it's the epitome of overreaction Friday. And sometimes you're going to get that one from time to time. Now, here's the thing. For those of you that do not know, I will say this. The Raiders did not go 14-13. That would be wild. Though, 14-13 records, basically what Shedeur Sanders did. And, hey, that got him in the Colorado Hall of Fame. But if you want to pull up for our NFL preseason Week 2 watch party, I hope that you do. We're going to be the number 1 most watched Raiders 49ers party. Now, maybe our 49ers channel ends up beating us. I hope that's not the case. We're going to end up giving away a jersey. We're going to end up giving away a bunch of stuff. And I promise you this. We had over 100,000 people show up for the first preseason game. Raiders 49ers is going to mean something different. And if you hate the 49ers as much as I do, I hope you subscribe, and I hope that you decide to pull up.